जय हिंद एवरीवन। आज हमारे साथ हैं कमांडर राम गुरु। राम सर इज एन एक्स सबमरीनर, एक्स एनडीए, एंड राम सर ने नेवी छोड़ने से पहले एफएमएस से एग्जीक्यूटिव एमबीए किया, एंड देन ही आल्सो कंप्लीटेड हिज Green Sigma 6 belt from the Indian Statistical Institute. After Navy, Sir served with a very prestigious consulting company, Grant Thornton, and now he has taken upon himself the task of helping veterans transition into the corporate, and he calls it the Mission 10,000, that helping 10,000 veterans to successfully and transit to corporates in dignified and well-paid jobs. So, welcome to today's talk, Ram sir.
Thank you, Vipul, for inviting me to this talk. And I really admire the kind of effort that you and your team are putting in so that जो हमारे फौजी भाइयों का transition journey है, that becomes little simpler.
तो सर आज ना हम एक थोड़ा सा इमोशनली चार्ज अप टॉपिक पर आपसे कुछ जानना चाहेंगे, थिंग्स व्हिच आई हैव एक्चुअली फेल्ट बैड अबाउट। मेरे को उनसे दिक्कतें भी हुई कि आई एम केपेबल, आई हैव द रिक्वायर्ड स्किल्स, आई हैव द रिक्वायर्ड एक्सपीरियंस, but I still keep on getting rejected when I apply for various openings in the corporate. So, how do I deal with these job rejections, and how do I build my internal resilience and grow in my second career? That is what I would like to understand your perspective and get coached on these aspects today.
Okay. Thank you, Vipul, for asking that question. See, वो सभी फौजियों who have actually moved from the military to the corporate would have actually gone through this at least once in their lifetime. Right? If I talk about myself, मतलब मैंने करीब 80 jobs के लिए apply किया होगा, and I'm not talking about just sending any resume, means tailored resume to those jobs, and must have appeared for 25 plus interview before actually I moved on to my first job, पहला job मेरे लिए. So what I think is, talking about those military experiences, हम किस तरह से leverage कर सकते हैं job rejection के लिए. तो first thing जो मेरे दिमाग में आता है is the leadership skills जो हर फौजी में रहता है. That itself actually gives a lot of resilience to face the setbacks. Now, आपको भी पता होगा that even in force or military, not every mission, not every task that we do is 100% successful 100% of the time. वहां अगर ऐसा हो सकता है तो when you're moving to the corporate तो यहाँ क्यों नहीं हो सकता, right? So taking things from that mindset that yes, things may happen like this, but what matters is how am I taking on that. उसमें से हमने क्या सीख लिया और उसको हमने कैसे आगे बढ़ाया. And second thing is adaptability, जो हम काफी बोलते हैं ना कि हम लोग फौजी हैं, फ्लेक्सिबल है. सो एडेप्टेबिलिटी टू पिवट द स्ट्रेटेजी. अगर ये चीज काम नहीं किया तो क्या ऐसे काम करेगा, ये क्यों नहीं किया, ये कैसे करेगा. एंड थर्ड इज डिसिप्लिन. फोकस ऑन वन थिंग, कि बेसिकली टेक इट लाइक अ मिशन, कि ये मेरा मिशन है एंड दिस मिशन आई नीड टू सॉल्व.
So thank you for that, highlighting those soft skills or the traits which almost every Fauji has. But still, if I ask you a more formal, structured question, that how can veterans leverage their military experience to effectively handle job rejection in the corporate world? What typical? I mean, what would say as a pointed answer to this?
Okay. So, first thing actually, I'll share actually what I used to do. Okay. Sometimes what happened was when I was actually giving interview, I was online and I used to keep a mobile on the site and record it. And then later see it, how did I answer each question? How should I have done it? Or मैंने कैसे किया? Right? Is there any scope for the improvement? This I'm just sharing what I used to do. Basically, it's a self-reflection. कि हम क्या काम किया, क्या नहीं किया, and how do I improve upon that? That is the first thing. Second thing is we can actually seek feedback from others, जो हमारे veterans हैं in the net, in the corporate, or who have actually faced similar kind of thing, our civilian friends. Then sending them job description, sending them resume and saying कि boss इसमें can you actually make out that the resume actually aligns to this job description which I have seen. Because when I'm talking about job rejection, it is not only the interview stage. It could be that मैं resume भेजे जा रहा हूँ, भेजे जा रहा हूँ, भेजे जा रहा हूँ, but actually कहीं से call आ ही नहीं रही है. So that can also be considered a job rejection. So, sending for feedback from people and effectively using that feedback into the thing that I'm doing, whether it is a resume making or whether it is an interview or whether selecting what kind of job only should I apply. And third thing, what we can do is, finding some course or program or certification. Basically, what happens is, फौज में हमारे पास experience तो बहुत होता है, लेकिन we actually do not know how to translate these military experience into the framework or the process or the industry language that the other person understand. हो सकता है वो समझने की गैप है एक्चुअली, काम में कोई गैप नहीं है, बट मे बी द वे वी आर एबल टू ट्रांसलेट दोज थिंग्स वो दूसरे को एक्चुअली समझ नहीं आ रही है. सो अगर ऐसा कुछ है तो मे बी शॉर्ट टर्म कोर्सेज इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक विच हेल्प्स यू and which equips you with answering those kind of technical questions. Right? अब जैसे if I talk about myself, मेरे साथ हुआ था, I actually applied as a project manager in telecom company. Now, when I went for the interview, it was online. They asked me so much technical questions, I could not answer. Then I realized, boss, this is not my field. Project manager, ठीक है, but I think telecom, I had actually selected a wrong job for myself.
Right.
Over to you.
So it's about also understanding that not every job is fit, and so basically preparation, fitment इस सब को देख करके ये समझना कि how to, okay. So sir, next question which I would ask in the same context is, what are the common challenges which veterans face when they are planning the transition to civil careers, and then how they can maintain that resilience in face of जैसे आपने बोला रिज्यूमेस भेज दिए, जवाब नहीं आ रहा है, 70-80 नौकरियां अप्लाई करी, हो नहीं रहा है, तो हाउ डू आई डेवलप दैट इंटरनल रेजिलियंस?
Okay, I think फौजियों के साथ ना, स्पेशली दी ट्रांजिशन वेटरन्स दैट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, ये जो चैलेंजेस है ना, वो एक्चुअली जॉब अप्लाई करने से पहले भी होती हैं. जब हम प्लान कर रहे होते हैं, कैसे टाइप के चैलेंज होंगे? लाइक फर्स्ट थिंग विल बी अनसर्टेनिटी अबाउट व्हिच कैरियर शुड आई गो, कौन सा इंडस्ट्री जाऊं, कौन सा फंक्शन, कौन सा रोल, व्हिच लेवल शुड आई गो. मींस दिस इटसेल्फ कुड बी सो मच ओवरवेलमिंग. नंबर 1. नंबर 2 इज अंडरस्टैंडिंग द जॉब रिक्वायरमेंट, कि जॉब में एक्चुअली करना क्या है मुझे, because the job description sometimes it is not so complete. It actually, if you read maybe 2-3 job descriptions, you'll find that okay, most of the things are very very common, generic. उसमें समझ नहीं आता है कि आपको करना क्या है. And again, tailoring the resume to align with that particular job description. And translating, again, we said the military experience into the language that the employer, because of civilian hai, that they can actually understand and gauge the scale and the level of the task that we have already done. And how do we maintain the resilience? Seek assistance from everyone around you, because there are people who have already done that earlier. वो ब्रिज लोगों ने पहले पार कर चुके हैं. So we can ask them, how did they went about this? How did they actually, prepared? Number 1, what kind of action did they take so that they could actually be there where they are today? And these people could be anybody, even your civilian friends, veterans in the network. So basically, keeping a very very proactive mindset कि transition भी एक mission है और इस mission में मुझे success लेना है. We all remember, right, what Thomas Alva Edison said. He said, I have not failed. Now I only know more than 10,000 ways that a bulb won't work. Something like that. Okay. Over to you.
Right. So, sir, can you also share some practical strategies for veterans wherein, they can turn these rejections into opportunities for personal and professional growth?
Okay. You're saying, what are the strategies, right?
Personal, yes, sir. I mean, some practical strategies, sir. Some practical strategies, some practical steps which they can take for.
So first thing is, it is very, very essential to expect and acknowledge that transitioning in most of the cases एक difficult journey रहेगी, right? So that acceptance has to come first, and once the acceptance comes, then accordingly you will prepare, you'll plan, you'll take action. तो वो acceptance अंदर से आनी बहुत जरूरी है कि क्योंकि I am going from one particular kind of environment to a new environment to make my career, so definitely challenges आएंगी और उसके लिए मुझे ready तो रहना ही है, right? So basically that kind of mindset is very, very important. That is number one. Number two is taking the ownership for the transition. Ki boss, you are the one who is going to make this happen. Yes, people will be there to make you, help you, support you. But once you have made your decision to move into the corporate, it is my responsibility to see that I am successful in moving to that particular place because it was my decision. And third, they should actively look out for help in their own network, in somebody else's network, civilian friends, those alumni, college ke dost ho sakte hain, whoever and whomsoever they know who can offer some help, some guidance, some mentorship, they must approach. It's basically a team sport, and individually they should not think कि मैं ये मेरी लड़ाई है अकेले की तो मैं अकेले ही करूँगा, right? And अगर ये सब करेंगे तो I think definitely कामयाबी पक्का होगा. That reminds me, वो स्कूल में कोई गाना होता था ना, विपुल कौन सा गाना गाते थे, हम होंगे yes हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन, तो definitely एक दिन पक्का कामयाब होंगे if you know be on this. Over to you.
जैसे आपने पहले बताया था mindset, so can you elaborate that more? In your experience, what role does mindset play in helping veterans navigate the job search process, especially जब continuously you get rejected?
Yes, absolutely. See, mindset, when you change the mindset inside, then the things outside actually seems to change. हमें पता है, right? I think it was Henry Ford who said, whether you think you can or you think you cannot, you are right. So everything actually starts from our mindset. And what I encourage is, all these transitioning veterans, they should take the rejection not as a full stop. They should take the rejection as a redirection. That, boss, this particular direction is not working, so let's take a detour, let's take a turn, rather than just go there and stop. If I'm not to crack interview, so coming back on that, what went wrong? What is it that I can actually improve upon to make this thing happen? Right? And one definitely needs to be optimistic. Right? Optimistic is very, very important. Control the things that you can control. In fact, it reminds me a serenity prayer karke, right? In which actually it says, you also must have heard, it says, God, give me the courage to change the things that I can, and serenity to accept the things that I cannot, and give me the wisdom to know the difference between two. If one does this, I think it's good to go. Over to you.
The last question for this: is there any ongoing professional development or education which can help veterans when they settle into their corporate roles, and what resources, oblique opportunities do you recommend they should explore for continuing their transition, progression, growth in the corporate sector?
Okay, so what can be done is, yes, definitely there are so many resources. They can actually opt for short-term courses, short-term certifications aligned to one particular kind of role that they're looking for. They can also opt for MBAs. We have got executive MBA. It's available in different format, maybe residential, weekend classes, fully online. So depending on what one is looking for, how much time does somebody has, how much money can he shell out, and which particular location that particular person is staying at this moment. So if you actually, one takes these resources that is available, one can always pre-plan. And also after moving to the corporate, because it's a lifelong, learning is lifelong, they can also keep upskilling themselves, keep honing their skills, and move on that career trajectory that they have chosen.
Okay. Sir, thank you so much for this. I believe that, I'll just try and sum up. आपने ये बोला कि एक तो माइंडसेट को थोड़ा सा शिफ्ट करने की जरूरत है कि भाई ये भी एक मिशन है और इसमें कहीं ना कहीं इट कैनॉट बी 100% गारंटेड. You have to keep attempting. Secondly, one has to prepare, and third, one has to learn from all the available resources and continue on the journey. So resilience तभी build होगा. It's an unavoidable situation.
True.
So we were with Commander Ramguru, who is helping as a career coach, service officers in transitioning from the uniform to the corporate. I'm grateful for your time and effort, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Vipul. Thank you. I hope that even if one person gets help from our talk, I think we have achieved our objective. Thank you so much.